I hate the Elytra. I used it, I would say, like one time way back in the day, probably close to when it first came out. And I can honestly tell you from the very bottom of my heart that it was one of the most boring experiences that I've ever had. I think I want to start this video off with a story. Everybody say hi to Harold. He is going to end up trapped in a research lab as soon as I get it built. But for now, he's just kind of chilling out here. This is my wool farm. It's kind of basic, kind of pretty though. And when I first decided that I wanted to build it, I had the dyes for every single color except for lime green and normal green. I could not make those two colors. So I didn't have these two colors. So I decided that I needed to go out and get those colors. And after traveling for roughly, I would say, 2.5 hours, I could not find a desert biome to get a cactus. No desert biome, no kind of desert biome at all. I couldn't find one. So I did what a lot of people end up doing, or I assume a lot of people end up doing, and no one's gonna call me a weirdo for it. And I loaded up Chunk Base to see if I can find a desert biome. And the closest desert biome to me was 8,000 blocks away. Almost 9,000. It was like 8,800 something blocks away. This is my coordinates where I currently am. You see the -123 for the X. It was at X level -8,800 and something. So I had to travel like quite a bit to get there. And along my travels, I found a couple of villages. I ran into a jungle temple. I had a really funny interaction with this witch where she threw a bottle of harming against a block trying to hit me and harmed herself. I basically just had one big adventure, right? And that would have never happened if I had the Elytra, because the Elytra just completely trivialized that. That entire journey took me probably an hour and 20 minutes round trip, right? An hour and 20 minutes going there and back. I had all sorts of fun. I had a great time. I absolutely loved it. It was a pain in the ass, don't get me wrong, but there was just something so magical about traveling through that. And when I finally got back to my village and was able to build my wool farm, I was all the more satisfied for what became of that entire journey. The Elytra would have thrown that out the fucking window. If I would have put the Elytra on, I could have gotten there and back in a bare minimum of like maybe 20 minutes. Because at the end of the day, Elytra are some of the most... Honestly, I don't like using this word for single player games, but they're overpowered. The Elytra are extremely overpowered, and I hate it. I honestly hate how much the Elytra removes from everything. I'm going to show you guys something real quick. This is my nether hub, which is still under construction, and I need to go and repair some of my tools. As you can see, a couple of my shovels are almost broken, and I can, you know, top off a couple of my pickaxe and my normal axe. You know, these are all things that I can just kind of like top off, and so I need to go to my XP farm, right? Well, this is how I get to my I saw you. And now you're dead. Haha! Anyway, this is how I get to my XP farm, right? I built this little railway through the Soul Sand Valley, which I'm gonna end up like putting some glass or something on this because gas keep blowing this up, but okay, what the hell happened here? This must have been from the last time a gas blew it up. Okay, well, anyway, so I'm gonna build a barrier out of glass and stuff for this, but I like this. I like the little railway. I like moving across. I like going to, you know, taking this train to where I need to go to get to my XP farm, or to get to my nether portal that leads me to the end, because I find it to be enjoyable and fun. I like this. I don't like using ice boats because honestly, they're a bigger pain to set up than they're worth, in my opinion. But at the end of the day, I like doing this because it is really, really fun. It's fun it's fun to travel like that. It's fun to take that railway system. Another thing that I really like when it comes to traversing is honestly ender pearls. I think ender pearls are extremely fun. This little teleport that you can do is really, really funny to me. I don't know why, it just tickles me in a certain way, like, oh my god, I suddenly am over here in damage now. But I like that. I like being able to teleport using ender pearls. I like using the minecarts. I even really like the new happy gas, using the happy gas to fly across the landscape. I would love to be able to give them a little bit of a speed boost, not quite the elytra speed. Obviously we want to avoid that, but just a little bit, even if it requires you like throwing a splash potion of speed or something on them, I think would be kind of fun to do. But the point is that I really enjoy doing all of this. I'm going to turn this sound down just to kind of give us some peace and quiet while we grind this out. But anyway, I just really don't understand why so many people are so anxious to give up the ability to enjoy the world. To me, one of the biggest problems with the elytra that I find is that it is simply it makes the world feel too small. If I can travel thousands, tens of thousands of blocks in a matter of minutes without having to build infrastructure like a minecart railway or a boat, an ice boat path or something like that, then I feel like it's just completely a waste of time. I don't go get the elytra like ever because I simply don't care about it, right? I don't care about the ability to fly everywhere. Now, some people have said that the elytra is really good for like building tall because you can glide down and stuff like that, but now that we have the happy gas, I don't really know why that matters, right? I don't know why it matters that we can glide down with the elytra. Now that we have the happy gas, we can take the happy gas up to the top of a big build and then we can, you know, bring it down or something like that. But I don't know. I just don't like the elytra. I don't like the way that it reduces the you know, the smallness of the world. I really don't enjoy that. I think it's very, very boring, and that's just my opinion. I know that there's some people who say that the elytra needs a nerf. If I were to change the way the elytra works, I would probably get rid of rocket boosting, or at the very least, I would like nerf rocket boosting. Like, I feel like you shouldn't be able to just right click and fly indefinitely. I feel like the elytra should be more like a glider, and instead of, you know, allowing yourself to rocket boost or punch, because you used to not be able to. You used to have to like bring around a bow with like, I think it was like punch or something, and then you could like shoot yourself with it, which was far more skillful. I think that rocket boosting either needs to be severely nerfed or it needs to be taken out of the game, because it's just a problem, right? Everything becomes irrelevant when elytra are involved, right? Nobody takes horses, they don't take boats, they don't, you know, build mine carts to get from one place to another. They don't do any of that. They just simply get on their little elytra and they fly. Like that minecart rail that I took you guys on to get to this XP farm, right? That would have been a 2-second flight over the Soul Sand Valley and into where I needed to be, and it would have been very, very boring and not nearly as thematic. Or even, you know what else the elytra does? It makes the world feel a little bit more dead. Like, here, like, listen, right? It makes the world feel a little bit more dead, because yes, there are people who have like these giant cities and these giant like rolling landscapes of builds, and then they fly over it with the elytra. But in my opinion, you don't have like any visible way to get from one place to another a lot of the times, because you don't need it. You don't need it, right? So if you like, let's say you build like an enchanted fairy forest, and then a little ways away from the enchanted fairy forest is a small village that, you know, lore-wise, they know about the fairies and they kind of avoid the forest and everything. But then there's no pathway connecting the two. There's nothing to show, you know, there's nothing like a road with a couple of carts on the side, or maybe like a battlefield scene or something like that to show where like travelers got attacked or whatever. Because why would you build that? Why would you build that when you could just fly from one place to another? The elytra removes the thought process. And I'm not saying this applies to everyone, right? I feel like there's going to be people that are like, oh, actually, I saw this one YouTuber like 4 years ago build pathways even with the elytra, so automatically you're wrong. And it's like, yeah, you can think that, I guess, but I believe that people need to understand that when I'm talking about this, I'm not talking about the exceptions, I'm talking about the rule. And I keep accidentally breaking my leaves in this XP farm. I'm kind of stupid, whatever. Anyway, so yeah, that's my thoughts on the elytra. That's why I don't like it. That's why I don't get it. I'm not going to be using it in this forever world that I have. So you know, let me know what you guys think. I'm sure there's going to be some people that disagree with me on this video, and that's fine, right? If you disagree with me on this video, if you think I'm missing something about the Elytra, if you think that, you know, I'm being a little bit ridiculous, then tell me. I think that's, you know, I think that's perfectly fine. I don't think that everybody has to agree with me. After all, this is just a game. We don't have to go completely crazy, but I really think that the Elytra ruined a lot of the immersion of Minecraft, and that's why I don't use it. I feel like it just very, very much destroys so much of what makes Minecraft special. You know what would be really, really cool? Maybe I'm going too far here, but like as a little last aside, what I think would be really cool is if the Elytra only worked in the end. That would piss a lot of people off. I don't think that Minecraft would ever make that kind of change. That would infuriate so much of the population. But yeah, I think if it only worked in the end, that would make it way more special, because it would be like the only way to traverse the end, which I think is absolutely amazing. So let me know what you guys think about that. I'm gonna have to go get some leaf blocks to fix this, because it's that missing leaf block is slowing my XP farm down way the hell down. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I love you all so much, and I'll see you in the next one.